Hi, everybody. This is Chase Butice. I'm here with a Psi.Vision 1111 update, broadcast. I don't know, whatever you want to call this. I am just processing a lot of crazy energies and kind of coming into what I feel is a new kind of authentic truth. I'm really trying to, or not trying, I'm trying not to try these days. And I'm really allowing myself to simply kind of be in an authentic creative flow and to authentically allow myself to broadcast and speak and relay information from a place that is authentic as possible. That's what I really believe we've come into. That's what I'm feeling in this new age of Aquarius, is that this new age is about the deepest kind of authenticity one can really ground in. And for me, what that means is that I feel like I'm starting to come out of like some kind of a closet that I've been in. And I think, for me, the way that this is looking in this new era is, is starting to identify and ground in more of my cosmic identity versus my human identity. Starting to allow myself to really relay the messages that my cosmic self is downloading to the masses. That's why I've chosen to kind of rebrand and I keep going further and further with it. And I keep allowing myself to kind of stretch deeper and wider and further with it into more uncomfortable places. And it's funny because it's uncomfortable for a second, but then it's actually really comfortable because it's what feels right. And, I think it's funny because I think in the old paradigm, I personally used to be, I wanted to come off a certain way. I wanted to be palatable. I wanted people to understand me. I wanted to fit in, even though I was never somebody that ever fit in. I still wanted, in some way to, have people be able to understand me, right? In some kind of context. And now in this new era, I'm really kind of caring less and less and less about that. And I'm really just allowing myself to kind of come out as what I truly feel that I am. Cause I think that, we had all these we had all these archetypes. We had all these systems in the past, pre 2020, right? That were like, you're a life coach or you're a spiritual teacher or you're a this or you're that. And it's like, I never ever felt like I fit into any of those. I had vision, I was psychic, I was intuitive, I would get downloads, energetic downloads about things. But it was really, I felt that I was kind of a cosmic energy that didn't know how to transmit that, didn't know how to broadcast that, didn't know how to claim that. And now in this new era, I just feel like we are truly in a time of awakening. And it's, the people that are the most sensitive, I'm sure that you are watching this, we really are attuned to that. We are attuned to this shift in consciousness that is happening, right? And how many of us now, in this new era, it is really, for me personally, it's about truly stepping in to the energy that I want to see in the world. I think what's starting to happen for me, especially right now, and the reason why I'm calling this this broadcast Future Forward is because I've talked to the theme that I keep hearing over and over and over and over and over from so many people and it's like people from all over the place. And there are a lot of my friends from all over different areas, people that have been, one of my friends has been having a hard time for years. Like he's super duper duper sensitive, triple water sign, like really, really, really empathic, really sensitive, struggled in the old paradigm for years and years and years. I just talked to him on the phone the other day. I've been friends with him for like 20 years almost. I talked to him on the phone the other day, and something has dramatically shifted for him, and he is like in his power. And the words that he said to me were, I am never going back. And it's funny because I said those same exact words maybe a month ago. I said, I'm never going back. And then yesterday or the day before, I was talking to another friend. Hey, Alex. I was talking to another friend of mine, and she was like, I'm never going back. She's a super empathic, another triple water sign. We all had a giant rest. We all had a giant, all the empaths, all the sensitives, we all had a giant during the pandemic. We had a chance to stop the machine, right? The machine inside of us all, the internalized voices, the internalized everything that we had been internalized of this sick ass world, right? We got to actually calibrate to our own true frequency. And now those frequencies have shifted. And so she, this triple water sign, she said, I'm never going back. And so it was like, she had that time during the pandemic. Then she went back to a job. She works in the film industry. She went back to a job that most people would be like, oh my God, it was like, on a really high major film, and she hated it. And she was like, the grind culture was killing her. And this is really where we're at, I think, for a lot of us that have, had a break from the grind culture, the ones of us that are very sensitive, that are attuned to energy, that are actually the ones that are doing energy work for the planet. And that's really one of the messages I want to relay here today. Future forward, meaning never going back, is that if you are part of this population of people that feels this energy, feels this message of what I'm saying, which is I'm never going back. And I don't know exactly what that means for you, but for me, it personally means that there is a deep internal shift that's starting to occur where I personally am not going to be going back to that grind culture. And it's a culture that is made up of exhaustion, depletion, never think scarcity mindset, things never being enough, perfectionism, always feeling like I have to fix something, never enough money, never enough time, never enough energy, right? Constantly working out all the time, constantly go, 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 right? Consumption to the max, right? Unable to really tune into myself, to tune into my own energy, to really ground in my own stillness, and to ground into myself, right? And I think that culture has become decimated over 2020. And what's happening now currently is that culture is trying to come back, right? It's like, okay, that's that old school colonial patriarchal, deeply embedded, power hungry, narcissistic, paradigm that was killing the souls of the earth, the creatives of everyone, right? And that paradigm's trying to come back. It's trying to come back. It's like, okay, let's get going. Let's keep going. Let's get going. And one of my friends in New Zealand told me, because this is just starting to happen in America. We just got the, we found, people don't have to wear masks anymore. Apparently, in California, you still do. But and one of my friends in New Zealand told me that things have been open for a while, and she even got the sense that when things opened up, that people were even, rushing even more. They were rushing even more intensely to kind of catch up with the time that they had lost. And it's like, for what? For what? And it's like, and I'm sure that you guys feel this. Like, I'm sure that you in some way feel what I'm saying, where it's like, in whatever way, we're never going back. And so what does that mean for the future? What does that mean for the future? What do our futures look like if we're never going back? What does it mean to never go back? And so I would ask you to ask yourself, like, was the way things were going for you pre-2020, were they working for you? Were you feeling good about them? Were you healthy in your mind, in your body, in your spirit? Were you balanced? Were you calibrated? Because for me personally, as somebody who's extremely sensitive, it was a struggle for me to be balanced. It was a struggle for me to be calibrated. I was constantly under putting myself under this pressure to go, 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 do, be, grind, 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 right? Have to be successful, have to own your own business, have to do this, have to do that, trying, pushing, pushing. All that energy is freaking exhausting. It's exhausting. And it's not the true energy of this planet, of this, it's actually the opposite of the truth of the energy of this planet. The truth of the energy of this planet is one of abundance. It's one of receptivity. It's one of ease. It's one of pleasure. It's one of beauty. And we've been trained in this system on this planet to believe that we have to suffer and grind and kill ourselves in order to enjoy our lives. It was like my partner and I were watching something, and it was like, how many love stories are there where like it's like the love stories where the lovers have this incredible love, but they're never able to be together. They're like together 1 month out of it. There's like always these movies where people, it's like there's these stories, there's these timelines that we've been on in this past, in the old paradigm, which is completely made up of this suffering energy where we're constantly striving. And that is not happening anymore. We had enough of a break in 2020. We had enough of a fucking break, right? Where we were able to fucking chill. We were met with the most amount of fear. Simultaneously, we were met with actual rest. And what happened was that the energies began to become recalibrated, and that the natural rhythm of this planet, of this universe, was actually able to ground and establish itself in its own natural rhythm. And so what's happening now that society, whatever that means, the old school paradigm of old school consumption centralization, meaning there's few people that have all the money, all the resources, and they're hoarding it, and all the rest of us have to scrounge and scramble and work our asses off, right? This new era is about decentralization of that materiality, of that money, of that energy, of that pleasure, of that beauty. Decentralization, meaning we all have access to it. It's not meant for these few. It's not meant for those of us that are working our asses off, grinding ourselves to the bone, killing ourselves in order to get a few freaking, get some whatever in our bank account, right? To feel stable, to feel secure. That is the old paradigm, you guys. The new energy of the new paradigm is truly one that is decentralized, meaning all of us have access to this energy, this new frequency that is available for us all. And that is what my guides, that is what the council that I am a part of, the cosmic council that I'm a part of, that's what I truly am. I was born at 11:11 universal time. And I have recently just been waking up basically post 2020 into 2021, really through 2020, I really started waking up to it. But 2021, I'm like, it's time. Everybody's like, okay, it's time you start relaying the messages that you're feeling, that you're seeing, that that are the truth, that are the 11:11 council. I call it the 11:11 council. And these are energies, messages that are being transmitted to me that I believe are part of this. There is an energy guiding us, a cosmic energy that is guiding us, that is outside of this planet, part of this planet. And it's helping us attune to these new frequencies. And that's what I am here, because since this whole new energy has woken up on the planet, I have felt so excited. And I'm like, oh, this is why I came to this planet. Because I've always wondered why the heck I came to this planet. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is why I came to this planet, was for this time to help relay these messages for humanity, so that we can all begin to attune to the new energies and attune to the new currencies, attune to the new frequencies. And there's a new frequency. And it's connected to the divine feminine. It's connected to Mother Earth. It's connected to receptivity. It's connected to pleasure. It's connected to abundance. It's connected to stillness. It's connected to our intuition. It's connected to the mystery. We were inside of this deeply rational, intense culture that was killing us. We were so disconnected from our spirit. We were so disconnected from the present moment. And we had this break. And now there's a decentralization, and there is access to the energy that we believed was formerly only given to those of for the very few in this old school hierarchical model. And so the work that is needed at this time, because we have because the old world is desperately trying to come back. It's desperately trying to come back, cryptocurrency is part of this new frequency. And, it's funny because even my own mother has been trying to tell me that, that the news is trying to tell us that, that crypto is the evil, and because it's the mainstream. Right? It's the mainstream. The mainstream is deathly afraid of this new frequency, this decentralized energy that is available to all of us, that is decentralizing wealth, decentralizing pleasure, decentralizing beauty, abundance, so that we may all enjoy it, right? And crypto is part of this new frequency. It's part of this. I'm not saying it's the only thing. It's an indicator of where we're heading in this new era. And currently, I don't pay attention to the news, but all I know is that the mainstream is really doing everything it can to bottle this in, to create all this fear around it, to try to wipe it out so that the dollar can come back, so that the old school paradigm, where the old white man at the top who has all the money and is helping us all through the energies of democracy to, where we can all work $10 an hour and slave away for them, right? That's not, that paradigm's over now. That paradigm is over now. And it's time we all begin to wake up to that. And begin to own and ground in the new frequencies, right? And so what I believe the work is at this point in time is really about establishing ourselves in the new energy, sitting in our own strong belief systems, allowing ourselves to work through whatever fears may be coming up, because we were so conditioned around scarcity in the old paradigm. In the old paradigm, we were so conditioned around scarcity, right? We were so conditioned to believe that we had we had to do certain things in order to be taken care of, and that our stability, right? The money that would come to us, that would give us whatever to be stable, was based on these outside forces that were generally run by giant systems upheld by white men, right? That is all getting X'd out now. And what we're learning in this new era is that the stability, the true stability, is actually coming from within. It's coming from within ourselves. And that it's up to us to cultivate this energy on a deep, deep primordial level, because we, as the empaths, the sensitives, the artists, those that are the most attuned to this energy, are the ones that are going to be grounding it for the planet. So this is really my message for the day. If you guys have any questions about this, please, if you want to talk about it, please write anything in the comments. This is my biggest message that I'm going to keep repeating over and over and over and over and over, because I don't think that there's enough people talking about this. I don't think that there's enough spiritual, whatever you want to call this, I call it, Psi.Vision cosmic 1111 attunements. Really, that's what this is. It's 1111 attunement, where we're starting to attune to the truth of our cosmic identity versus our human identity, which means that when we begin to ground in our cosmic identity, what that means is that we are establishing ourselves as energy first, instead of materiality first. We're not establishing in our ego identities of this world. We are establishing ourselves in the identity, the cosmic, energetic, universal identity. Because when we die here, we go somewhere else, right? This is not the end all be all. This material world is not, the end all be all in our existence. It's our experience right now. But the more that we can begin to ground in the true energy that rules the matter, the more that we can begin to ground in the energy that is behind the matter, meaning beginning to attune to what we are feeling in any moment. Where is our fear? Where is our faith? Are we reacting to situations in our life with a mass consciousness, that with a race consciousness that is perpetuating a type of fear body and energy body that is keeping us in the same cycle? Or are we grounding on ourselves in a new energy, in the new frequencies that have become available to us, that are absolutely opening us to shaping our reality in a new way? That's really the work that I've been doing in the past, like really since 2021 kind of came in. 2020, I was like working through the shadow. I was helping process the emotions of the world with these election and these like depolarization. 2021, right? We're coming onto the other side. We hit a new cycle. We ended that 2020 cycle and we're in a new 2021 cycle, which means the new frequencies are becoming established. These new frequencies are starting, but they're destabilized, right? They're not completely stabilized yet. And the old forces are trying to come in and be like, you can't rule your world through imagination and sacred sight and vision. You have to base all of your choices on this materiality. On your stability is based on this guy who has, X amount of dollars, who's really going to be ruling your world and telling you how to think, how to feel, all of these news and media outlets trying to give us information about what reality is. Like, we're the only ones, we shape our reality with our perception. And in this new era, in this new frequency, it is time that we're starting to really take responsibility for that. Taking ultimate and true responsibility for that. And, that is not, it's not easy. It's not an easy thing to just all of a sudden snap out of it and begin to take responsibility when your entire world was based in a fear paradigm. Because look, I mean, obviously I'm like a, strong, independent woman, Italian woman, but like, there is like I'm still attuned to the frequencies of the humans on this earth, which there is a deep fear body, especially for women. There's a deep fear body where we just are guarded. We are guarded. It's like because it's the trauma response of the earth, of animals, we're all just like, trying to protect ourselves, which has kept us from actually being able to receive. It's this really funny paradox because we've protected ourselves, but that ultimately makes us victims. It perpetuates a victim cycle, and it also blocks out pleasure. It blocks out the abundance that is right there every day, every minute, there waiting for us, allowing it in. And it's really the truth, and it's really that simple. It may seem like, I'm talking a bunch of like, what are you talking about? How is that true? Blah, 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 blah. But reality is really our perceptions. It's based in our feelings, and it's based in where is our faith and where is our fear? These two questions. So kind of grounding us in the idea and the theme of what I originally talked about for this broadcast, future forward. When I first said, I've encountered so many people that have said they're never going back. They're never going back to the way things were. If you're never going back to the way things were, then how can you begin to take responsibility for the future that we are all collectively creating together? Where are we putting our energy? Where are we putting our beliefs? Where are we putting our emotions? What do you believe in? And, the true work is to begin to allow yourself to start to believe in things that were challenging for you to believe in the past, right? Things like, this idea that, it's really not that hard. So good. Thanks, Alex. This idea that, it's so hard to, have prosperity or be abundant. It's so hard. We have to be in these old grinding systems where all of our humanity is like taken out of us, these belief systems around prosperity, around abundance, around joy, around creativity, right? Really, this energy of allowing ourselves to begin to receive and beginning to receive in the new world, in the new paradigm. So, in this moving future forward, with beginning to attune to our more cosmic identity. What does that mean? What does that look like? Do you guys know what I'm saying here? Do I sound like an alien? I'm starting to allow myself to start to just become an alien, to allow, there was a deep liberating moment. I've had my share of seeing different psychics in my life and going to spiritual teachers. Sorry, hold on. Topo Chico, I'm thirsty. I've had my share of going to see different spiritual teachers. And, as I grew in my own truth and in my own frequency and in my own grounding, the more I would go to them, the more I'd be like, you are full of shit. You're just giving me this timeline. You're projecting some shit onto me. And one of my favorite things is like to tell off phony psychics. But I did go to this one woman in, her name was Reese St. Augustine in Seattle area, that was the most freaking amazing cosmic being that truly had this alien energy. And she talked to me about the sacred geometry and light codes and beginning to allow myself to identify with my cosmic identity. I think that was back in 2018. I saw her for the first time. And when I saw her, I was like, something inside of me, just like a light bulb turned on. And I was like, oh, this is the truth. Like, I have been keeping myself so small, like to remain on this planet, to live in this paradigm, to try and operate from this, what I see here in this world. And when I actually start to let myself open to my cosmic identity, to the fact that we live in a universe, that we live in a galaxy that has billions and billions of other stars and planets. And, there is other life that besides us on this earth, and that we can attune to that energy at any time and begin to cosmically bring in messages, bring in energy, and attune to that and begin to ground that here on this planet. We can begin to raise the vibration. When I started to actually realize that, it expanded my entire world. It expanded my entire sense of being. It expanded my truth. For the first time in my life, I actually felt free, because I had struggled most of my life with intense depression, always feeling like an outsider, even though I'm somebody that's incredibly joyful. I'm incredibly joyful. I love, people. I love to perform, but I always felt like such an outsider. The more I began to allow myself to open up to my cosmic identity, and then I started getting into astrology, and then I realized when I got into astrology that I was born at 11/11, and 11/11 has followed me around my entire life. And then when I finally realized what 11/11 means, it's a shape. It's a geometric shape that is connecting. It's a channel. 11/11 is a channel, right? It's the channel to the cosmos, right? We all have that ability. We all have that ability. And it's starting to allow ourselves to tune into that truth, to tune into that cosmic identity, so that we can start to play around with the energy here on earth. So we're not so stuck in this materiality. We're not so stuck in this paradigm. We're not so stuck in these people and these systems and the news and these governments, right? That are telling us what to think, telling us what to do, that we can liberate ourselves. That is what the Age of Aquarius is all about. And I'm just doing it. Age of Aquarius is all about being weird as fuck, eccentric, authentic. And if I'm going to be authentic, and I'm really going to be eccentric, I'm going to allow myself to begin to tune in to the truth of my being, which is that there is a deep cosmic identity that I hold and that we all hold, and allowing myself to begin to tune into that. Is there any questions that anybody has about anything? I was just going to quickly look at the astrology of the moment, just to get a little, what I really wanted to talk about today. I pulled up the chart, and what I really wanted to talk about today, just quickly, because it's so apparently happening right now, is the Uranus squared Saturn that is going on all of 2021. Uranus squared Saturn is like, it's Uranus is the planet that rules Aquarius. I'm going to keep talking about this because it's fun. Okay. It's fun to talk about this. I know I keep repeating myself, but I think repetition is the only way we get something in our brains. Right. So yes, it's the Age of Aquarius. It happened on December 21st. It is a new era that is ruled by new frequencies, right? And so the Uranus squared Saturn energy is Saturn. We were going through a death, Saturn conjunct Pluto's death cycle all of 2020. Saturn is our old systems. It rules rigidity, materiality, Capricorn energy, bureaucracy, how we keep ourselves in our boxes, in our holes, how that Saturn conjunct Pluto energy was blowing that up all through 2020, right? So in 2021, we've had Uranus traveling through Taurus. We've had Uranus traveling through Taurus since 2017, and it's going to travel there for a couple more years still. But it's all of this year, it's Uranus is squaring Saturn. Saturn's in Aquarius, Uranus is in Taurus. What that means is that there is this really intense shifting of energy that is happening right now. Uranus is the electricity of the new world. It is the new frequencies. Uranus is kind of like the spearhead, the pioneer of the new frequency, right? And it's squaring Saturn. What that means is that this new world, that we're this decentralized age of Aquarius, this awakening that we're all going through, where we're like, I'm not fucking doing that anymore. And we get really excited about it. We get pumped up. And then the old world comes in and it's like, wait, motherfuckers, here, let me put this noose around your neck. You can't do that. What are you thinking? Come back here. I'm going to pay you $5 an hour. Because that's what they pay people. That's what they pay cashiers at Sonic. They pay cashiers at Sonic $5 an hour. $800 a week, $800 a month is how a cashier at Sonic makes. Yeah, right. So the old world is like, come back in here, come back to the Walmarts, come back to the Sonics, come back. I'm going to keep you here. This is where we're safe. We're going to come back to the dollar. We're going to come back where we're safe. We're going to come back where there's this ruling order, where we're all comfortable, right? No, that energy, it's not working anymore. But that's what's happening. There's this new breakout of energy. There's this new breakout. And then there's this constriction where the old world is like, no. And it's trying to confine it. And then there's like this real destabilizing energy. We can see this through earthquakes. We can see this through literally the earth shaking, wind, rain, storms, shifts in the crust of the earth, changes, right? Destabilizing. The Saturn is trying to it's trying to stabilize the psychic, intuitive new frequency. And it's like going from constricting it or harnessing it. And that's the energy. And that's what we're playing with through all of 2021. Is it going to constrict it or is it going to conduct it? Is it going to control it or is it going to ground it? And this is how we can ask these questions with ourselves, right? Are you oppressing yourself with your own internal dialogue of the old world, of your own fears, of what you believe this new world is becoming? Are you stabilizing it? Are you like being completely wild in your new world, ideas about the new world? Are you conducting? Are you stable in yourself? And so really this is what I've been feeling. I'm like going like a palm tree in the wind, And the more I ground, I've been spending so much time lately, really, really, really grounding in the new world order, in the new world frequency. And I really believe that, it's the people like us that are very sensitive, that are really, it's up to us to ground in this energy, And I think I'm going to do a live where I'm going to help ground these energies. I think that's going to be my next live. It'll be like a meditation / grounding to ground these energies, so that we can all just have some relief, so that we can all feel some inner stability, so that we can become the channels, become the conduits through whence this new frequency begins to outplay itself, because it's not going to happen anywhere outside of ourselves, you guys. There is no one outside of ourselves that is going to establish this new frequency but ourselves. And that's intense, and that's tough. It's a tough realization. It's a tough realization to have to take that much responsibility for the self, and not project ourselves, our power onto others. But that's what happened. That's what happened throughout 2020, was that the shadow projections, that's what the shadow is. It's when we project our energy onto someone else, we point the finger and we say, it's you, it's your problem, it's your energy, it's you, right? When we do that, we keep doing that, right? We are giving away our power. We are giving away our energy. We're giving it away. We're just giving it away. And we're saying that it's somebody else outside of ourselves that has power over us, that we need to depend on, that we need to look for stability. And in the new era of decentralization, it's really up to us to begin to formulate and ground in that new stability, in that new stable sense of self. I know. It's not easy, but it's also really exciting. But it's been a crazy time. I don't know if you guys are feeling that. I'd love to know if you are, because I just feel like it's been such an intense, especially like the past month. I feel like the new energy, like, because the world is really starting to open up, especially the US, right? The US has been kind of the main engine. The US and China have kind of been these main engines of this global colonial capitalist order, right? We've been these engines that are just keeping it going, and that engine's trying to start up again. And it's only up to us, the psychic ones, the empaths, the sensitives, the ones that are attuned to energy, that we begin to own our power. We begin to own the fact that we are doing energy work for the planet. We are, in fact, doing energy work for the planet. That's what we're doing. No one's ever seen that as worthwhile. No one's ever valued that. No one's ever said this is important. So we ourselves never knew that. But really, that's what we've been doing, right? Starting to own that, claim that, sit in that, allow that to be, claim our king, queen lineage, claim our cosmic divinatory power. Begin to sit in that, claim it, and begin to conduct it for the planet. So I think that's my main message for the day. I've just recently started a Patreon membership where I'm going to be doing lives where we can interact. So if you want to have interaction with me and have a membership community, you can join. I'm giving meditations on there as well. And you can be on part of a Discord forum that we're all a part of, talking about all kinds of stuff. You can just search for my name, Chase Batice, on the Patreon. You can go to my website, www.chasebatice. I'm going to put it right here, .com, and you can find it all there. Anyway, that's that. I hope that this was helpful for anybody that was watching. It's a new era, you guys. It's a new time, and it's exciting. And we just have to keep sitting and establishing and allowing and grounding this new wave. We are part of a new wave, and we must establish this wave. We must ground in this wave. We must believe in this wave. We are the wave. Okay? We are the new wave. So let's be it. All right, you guys. I love you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. I'll talk to y'all later. Okay, bye.